Good morning, everybody. And we're going to start today on our abdomen. You're going to stack your forearms right on top of each other. You'll draw your big toes to touch and let the heels open out and see how that feels. And if that doesn't feel so good, then you'll try the other way of widening your feet far apart, letting the toes turn out and the heels spin in, and just notice which one feels better to you. And we're going to take the first few moments in this pose to really notice if you want to army crawl your elbows a little further forward so it feels like there's enough length around your neck and the head is just resting on the backs of the forearms. And you'll just notice what it now feels like to breathe into your abdomen, really distending, pressing the belly into the floor, and then really allowing it to recoil, to fold back into the spine. So the focus of our practice today is really just trying to find a feel-good practice. I've noticed for the past few days for myself that I've been feeling a little cranky in my shoulders, in my neck, in my upper back in particular. And so we're going to work towards just finding a sense of balance so that we can really feel good in our bodies, really feel good in our lives, wherever they happen to be at this moment, really feeling good in every aspect of a moment as it unfolds. And this comes back to something that Roberta just read. This is good because. So we're going to just allow ourselves in these last few moments to see how you can expand your breath. You might add an audible exhalation. You might notice that the breath can come up a little bit more into the collarbones, into the ribs and the armpits. And you're just noticing what you notice. Take one more deep, steady breath cycle here. And then at the end of your next exhalation, you'll start to walk your forearms underneath your shoulders and just come to Sphinx pose for a moment, finding a little bit of an upper extension opening through the heart and just noticing what this feels like momentarily. And then when you're ready, you'll lay back down on your abdomen. Your arms can spread out to the right and to the left, either in a T shape or in a cactus shape. It's totally up to you. And then take a look at your left hand, left elbow, and you'll either slide your left hand, left elbow more to the left, and then turn around and look at your right hand, right elbow. Bring your right hand underneath your right shoulder and start to roll towards the left. Now, if the elbow is bent, be mindful, you're probably not going to get too far. And if the arm is straight, you might get a little bit further, but it doesn't matter so much. We're trying to find what feels good. Those with the elbow bent, press into the left hand, press into the left elbow, hug that point towards your left nipple. And those with the left arm straight, notice what happens if you can really claw the fingers into the mat on the left hand and maybe lift and lower your head a little bit to find a nice stretch across the front of your left chest. And again, you're just taking a moment to pause and to breathe. And then gently you'll find yourself back onto your abdomen, and we'll go ahead and switch to the other side. So slide the right hand, right elbow out towards the right. Then look back to the left hand, plant the left hand underneath the left shoulder and start to roll towards the right. And again, you're just noticing what you notice. Very often I find myself pressing myself forward, whether it's metaphorically or physically, instead of just taking a moment to check in and see where I'm at, see what's unfolding in this moment and how I can really enjoy the sensations or enjoy the pleasure of whatever is happening. Take one more breath cycle here. And then very gently, you'll roll yourself back onto your abdomen and pause. Great. Once you find yourself on your bellies, go ahead and bring your hands alongside your hips. Extend out through your fingers and then draw the shoulders up towards your ears, draw the shoulder blades together on your back and lift the shoulder blades onto the back body so they squeeze towards each other. Keep your hands reaching back and the palms can face up or the palms can face down. It's totally up to you. But on your next in-breath, you'll lift your right leg up and back behind you, hugging all the muscles around the bone. And then you'll exhale and put that leg down. And then you'll inhale, send the left leg back behind you, lifting all the thighs away from the floor as much as you can. And then exhale, lower that left leg down. Okay, you can have the option to keep the hands as they are or bring them to your low back, your choice. And if you bring them to the low back, turn the palms to face up. So you're not clasping the hands, you're just stacking them on top of each other. Elbows are as bent as they need to be. As you inhale, sweep your right arm forward, your left leg back, and come to a forward salute with that right hand. And as you exhale, swim the right hand back, lower the right cheek to the mat, bring the right hand back to rest on top of the left. And then you'll go ahead and switch sides. Inhale, sweep your left arm forward to a salute, lift your right leg. And then exhale, swim the left arm back, lower the left cheek to the mat, lower the right leg down. So we've got 4 more sets of these. So you'll inhale, swim your right arm, left leg, lifting them, lifting the chest. And then exhale, swim the arm back and come back. And go ahead and try that on your left side. So the left arm is coming to a Popeye salute. So it really touches your forehead like your naval salute captain pilot thing. There we go. And then you're exhaling and swimming it back. So a lot of this is just to try to create mobility in our shoulder joint as well as strength in our back body. Double win. Awesome sauce. And throughout it all, I want you to make sure you're breathing, moving very slowly, very mindfully. And you've got about 1 more set on your own, really allowing yourself to lift a little higher as you lift your chest, opposite arm and leg. Awesome sauce. And last one, last side. Nice work. Listen very closely. Go ahead and lower all the way down. This time you'll inhale, swim both arms out and back, lift both legs up, bring both hands to your forehead. Yep, and then exhale and swim them both back. And we'll do that 1 more time. So like you're doing jumping jacks for some reason on your belly with your legs not moving. Inhale, lifting the legs up and away from the floor, hugging the hands to your head, and then exhale, swim it back. Awesome sauce. Lower your head down, lower your legs down. Last little thing here. Turn your palms to face the floor alongside your hips. Press down into the tops of your feet. Draw your shoulders up towards your ears and draw the shoulder blades onto your back. As you inhale, reach the fingers back, reach the toes back, reach the head forward and up. And as you exhale, draw the navel into the spine. Inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades onto the back, drawing the sternum forward. Yay! Exhale, keep lengthening the tailbone back. Last one. Inhale, tailbone back, toes reach back, legs are super active, hands are super active. And then exhale, lower all the way down. Awesome sauce. Bring your hands alongside your lowest ribs. Press yourselves up to hands and knees, tabletop position. And then start to make your way back to toe squat. So I encourage you to pad your knees if your knees, ankles, and shins happen to be sensitive. And today we're still really working with the breath, just as we did last week. So you'll go ahead once you're established with your toes tucked under, sitting on your heels, and then bring your spine as upright to vertical as possible. Bring your palms to heart center, pressing them in towards each other. We've got 4 sets of these. So you'll inhale, arms open out to the right and to the left like a bird. As you exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades onto the back, hug the elbows down to your hips. Inhale, reach the arms out and up and overhead. And then exhale, palms touch and draw down towards your heart. So we've got 3 more. Inhale, arms open out to the right and to the left. Exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades on your back, hug your elbows down towards your hips. Inhale, reach out and up and overhead. And then exhale, press the palms into each other, draw to heart center. 2 more times on your own, and you're just following your breath. So long inhalation opens the arms. A deep exhalation draws the belly in as the elbows hug down. As you inhale, you lengthen the tailbone down, reaching out through the arms, lifting up through the spine. And then as you exhale, lift the front low belly in and up as hands come to heart center. Last time. Inhale, arms reach out. Exhale, front ribs hug in, elbows hug down. Inhale, arms reach out, tailbone lengthens down, crown reaches up. And exhale, hands through heart center, low belly in towards spine. Nice job. From here, you'll shift your weight forward, bring the tops of your feet to the floor, pitter patter your toes, having a happy little temper tantrum if that feels good to you. And then after that, you'll shift your weight back, lift one or both knees up and away from the floor, provided that that feels okay to your knees, shins, and ankles. Nice work. From here, go ahead and come forward, and in honor of a request, we'll go ahead and take navicular stretch. So just shift your weight forward. I see you, Sandy. Walk your hands just underneath your shoulders. Walk your knees a little wider than your hips. Take your right foot over to your left foot. Lift your left foot up. Plant the top of the left foot into the arch of the right foot and sit your pelvis back. And then you might lift that left knee up, pressing into the arch of your right foot. And are we breathing? Are we breathing? Are we breathing? When you're ready, you'll come forward and you'll switch sides. And you're just noticing what you can enjoy about this moment. So we're attempting to feel good. And sometimes, just as that little quote Roberta read, sometimes it's not always the things that we think will evoke a sense of gratitude, but the more that we can pay attention to them, we know that they will, or trust that they will. All right, once you're even, go ahead and come forward, hands and knees. And then let's start to make our way up to stand at the top of our space. I highly encourage a block, or 2 blocks rather, at the upper outer corners of your mat. I also encourage a blanket in the middle of your mat. You choose to do whatever works best for you. Cool. And then once we find ourselves at the top of our space, we'll just do a little Adascu stretch before we add on. So go ahead and inhale and lift your left arm up and overhead. Take your right hand to your left tricep arm thing and roll your arm into you a little bit more. Then bend your left elbow and grab your left elbow with your right hand. Now, since we're vertical, I want you to see if you can lengthen your tailbone down as you reach your crown up into your right forearm. Draw your front ribs in and back, and continue to push your left elbow to the left as you draw it in towards the right. And you'll just take 1 to 2 more breath cycles here, checking in and seeing if this feels good to you. If it does, by all means, stay here. Otherwise, you'll reach up through your right arm, turn your right thumb out to the right, swim it back behind you, and perhaps you'll clasp arms. And or clasp fingers. And if you are clasping fingers, you might pull the fingers into each other to lift your left elbow higher, draw your right elbow lower, hug your shoulder blade on the right side into your back body as you pull your front ribs in. Nice work. From there, gently release the right arm down, lift the left arm up, and lower the left arm down. And then we'll go ahead and switch sides. So inhale, your right arm comes up, right hand comes to the outside edge, roll the arm in, bend your right elbow, and grab your right elbow with your left hand. Now from here, re-engage. So notice if you can push down through the feet, lengthen down through the tail, hug the front ribs in, lengthen up through your skull, and then maybe breathe into that space behind the shoulder blades and just notice what that feels like as you slightly draw your chin in. You might stay there or lift up through your left arm, turn your left thumb down to the floor, swim it out and back behind you, and maybe clasp fingertips behind you. And then again, just checking in, maybe you pull the fingers apart, maybe you draw that left shoulder onto the back body a little bit more and draw your front ribs into your back body a little bit more. Awesome sauce. Gently release the left hand if you had it. Reach up through the right and lower the right arm down. Okay, let's go ahead and take a few moments to now re-engage with our breath. So we're going to do about 3 to 4 sets of each of these. So stand at the top of your space. Inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead. As you exhale, cactus the elbows, lift the sternum. Inhale, reach your fingers up and overhead. And as you exhale, open the arms out, hinge at the hips, come all the way down to the floor. Now inhale, open the arms out, lift your spine halfway, bend the knees as much as you need to. And then exhale, fold all the way back in. Inhale, circle, sweep the arms to come all the way back up to stand. And then exhale, open the arms out alongside your hips. So we've got 2 more sets just like that. So inhale, circle, sweep the arms out and up and overhead. Exhale, cactus the elbows, lift the heart, draw the tailbone down. Inhale, reach up through the fingertips, lengthen down through the tail. And exhale, open the arms, hinge at your hips, fold all the way in. Inhale, halfway lift, arms reach out, heart lifts up. And then exhale, fold all the way in, fingers graze the floor or the blocks. Inhale, arms sweep out, come all the way up. And then exhale, open the arms out towards the sides. Okay, you got 1 more set just like that. So inhale, circle, sweep the arms, root down through the legs, reach up through the crown. Exhale, bend the elbows, lift the sternum, draw the tailbone down. Inhale, reach up through your fingers, lifting up through the crown. And exhale, hug the navel to the spine, hinge at your hips. Inhale, heart and sternum lift, knees bend as much as they need to. And then exhale, fold all the way in. Inhale draws you back up to vertical. And then exhale, arms open out and alongside your hips. Slight variation. Inhale, circle, sweep your arms. Exhale, bend your elbows. Inhale, reach up through the fingers. This time, hinge with the arms over your head, coming all the way down, bending the knees as much as you need to. Inhale, halfway lift, fingers reach forward and up. And then exhale, scoop the belly and fold all the way in. Inhale, fingers reach forward to come all the way up to vertical. And then exhale, arms open out. So you've got 2 more sets like that with the arms coming up and overhead, and you'll just follow your own breath. And you're just noticing how you can really connect the movement to the breath to find a nice bit of grounding in the thoughts. And as we come halfway up, you want to think of the back of your heart lifting, the knees bend as much as they need to. There you go, Mike, that looks better. And here is our last set. Inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. Exhale, cactus the elbows. Inhale, reach the fingers up. Exhale, hinge at your hips all the way down. Inhale, fingers reach forward, back of heart lifts, knees bend as much as they need. Yep, exhale, fold all the way back in. And then inhale, come up to vertical. And exhale, lower the arms down. Okay, last little half set. Inhale, circle, sweep the arms up and overhead. Exhale, bend the elbows. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, bend the knees as much as you need to, coming all the way down. Great. Let's take a moment here, put your hands on your blocks, highly encouraged. And then inhale here and exhale, step your left leg long and back. Pause here, you might need to step that left foot back a little bit more or the right foot forward. And then lift your spine so that there's one line from your head through your shoulders, through your hips. Yep, so the hearts have to lift. Now draw your outer right hip back, lift up through your inner left thigh, and just take 3 breath cycles here. The more you can push down through your hands, you can feel your inner armpits lift. And you'll notice if you can draw the shoulders down the back, but let the heart stay forward. Nice job. Next, exhale, step your left foot forward to meet your right. Nice job. Inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale, bend your knees, plant your palms, step your right leg long and back. So low lunge. And then we'll try all the things that we did on the first side. So you'll draw that outer left hip back. You'll lift up through your inner right thigh. You'll lift your heart forward, your gaze in line with wherever your head is. And you're just taking a moment to pause and breathe. The end of your next exhalation, step your right foot forward to meet your left. Awesome sauce. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands on your block, step your left leg long and back. Pause. Take 3 breath cycles here. You're noticing if you can push down through the fingers, lifting up through the arms. Noticing that you can squeeze your back butt cheek a lot. Listen very closely. As you exhale, step your right foot back to meet your left plank pose. Keep holding on to the blocks. It's highly encouraged. It creates a lot of space. Take a big breath in here. Take a big breath out. Next exhalation, step your left foot between your hands, low lunge. Oh, look at that. 3 breath cycles here. Draw your outer left hip back. Keep lifting up through your inner right thigh, and your head is in one long line. Nice job. Next exhalation, step your left leg long and back. 2 breath cycles here in plank. Head is long, on top of spine. Heart is still reaching forward. End of next exhalation, your right leg steps forward between your hands. Oh, buddy, yay! 2 breath cycles here. Draw that outer right hip back, lift up through your head, your heart, your inner left thigh. Next exhalation, step that right foot back. Plank pose. Take a big breath in. Take a big breath out. Next exhalation, that left leg steps forward between your hands. Take a big breath in and take a big breath out. Just 1 breath cycle here. Next exhalation, step that left foot back. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Next exhalation, right leg steps forward. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Exhale, step that right foot back. Last time, last set. Take that left foot forward between your hands. Take a breath in and take a breath out. Exhale, step your left foot back. Hooray, happy days. We are done. Lower your knees to the mat. Come off your blocks and take a moment to replant your palms on the mat. Cool. All right, go ahead and tuck your toes under, spread wide through your fingers, and press your bum up and back to downward facing dog. And you can keep your knees as bent as they need to. What's priority number 1 here is that you've got as much elongation through your spine. Cool. And then 2 options here. Option number 1 is to inhale and come forward to hands and knees. Option number 2 is to inhale and come forward to plank. We're going to do this 5 times. So inhale, come forward to either plank or hands and knees. And then exhale, bend your knees, lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. And you've got 4 more sets like this, seeing how long you can take to get there. So maybe it's a 5 count inhalation forward to hands and knees or plank. And then a 5 count exhalation back to downward facing dog. And then you might stay with 5 counts, or you might find that maybe you want to elongate it to 6 counts. And then maybe you'll push back for 6 counts. And you'll continue to play with this, and maybe it'll become 7 counts. Yeah, keep lifting through the inner armpits as you come forward. Yep. And then 7 counts back. And then this last one might be an 8 count inhalation. And as you come forward, keep lifting through those inner armpits by pushing down through your hands, reaching back through your heels, and then exhaling back to downward facing dog. And once we get back to down dog this time, go ahead and bend both of your knees. Lower just your left heel towards the floor and take 2 steady breaths here. Breathing into the back of your left calf, pushing down into your hands and just noticing what this feels like. And then you'll inhale and bend both knees once again. And then lower just the right heel to the floor, pressing the right heel down, lifting the hips high and just pausing and breathing. Nice job. And then you'll go ahead and inhale and bend both knees. And exhale, lift both hips high, reach the heels back and maybe towards the floor behind you. And priority number one here is keep lifting through inner armpits, wrapping triceps to the floor. All right, let's go ahead and add on. Inhale, lift your right leg up and back. And as you exhale, quietly step your right foot between your hands. Pause, highly encourage you to come onto your blocks. Step your left foot slightly to the left and put it down for warrior one. Pause. Draw your outer right hip back, lift your spine so you're in one diagonal from your head, through your shoulders, through your hips. As you exhale, airplane your arms back alongside your hips, and then inhale, bring your head up to vertical. Nice job. Awesome. So with your hands alongside your hips, we'll take a moment to pause. Next exhalation, straighten your front leg. Okay, now we're going to take 4 sets of these, well 5 actually, but you'll inhale, bend the front knee, reach the arms forward and up. And then you'll exhale, straighten the front leg, airplane the arms back alongside your hips. And you've got 4 more of those. And you can work to find maybe a 5 count inhalation to come forward into warrior one now. And then just let the exhalation be at its natural pace. And then maybe a 6 count inhalation, shifting shoulders slightly in front of hips. So there's a diagonal happening in your torso. And then exhaling and shifting back, straightening the front leg. And then maybe this next one becomes a 7 count inhalation, slowing down. Yeah, there you go, Sandy. Arms. And Roberta, you can lift your gaze just a little bit. There you go. Yeah, there you go. Lift the gaze, Sandy. And then the next time will be perhaps an 8 count inhalation. And you might just be striving for that. You might find that at the end of your 8 counts, the breath isn't there, but the intention is. And so we'll have that one come forward for an 8 count inhalation, pressing into your back foot, bending into the front knee. Awesome sauce. And then let's go ahead and inhale and bend the front knee. If you're still working, no worries, you join us and we've got both arms up and overhead. As you exhale, airplane your arms alongside your hips, but keep your spine exactly as it is. Now wrap the shoulder blades onto your back and maybe interlace the fingertips now. Now from here, I want you to keep making sure your torso's forward on a diagonal just slightly. Draw the front ribs in and back, squeeze your left butt cheek, and then draw that outer right hip back. Now we'll take 4 breath cycles here. Keep the front knee bent and continue to breathe, into your collarbones, into your heart, lifting your gaze. So even though the torso's forward, your eyes are still up and on there you go, on alignment with your head. And we're trying to just send the energy into our chest, into our heart. Next inhalation, go ahead and bring the spine back up to vertical, straighten your front leg. And as you exhale, right hand to right hip, inhale, swim your left arm up and overhead. And next exhalation, reach out through your left fingertips forward, out and down, and bring your left hand to the floor or a block underneath your left shoulder. Then go ahead and release your right hand to the floor or block underneath your right shoulder. Inhale, bend that front knee. And exhale, step back, plank pose. Hooray, back to that whole thing. Take a big breath in here. Choice to just stay here, but like, Jessica, this is where I'm hanging out. Otherwise, you might shift your weight forward and do a little push-up. Come back to that plank position. Lower your hands off of the blocks, and then make your way back to downward facing dog. Awesome sauce. 3 steady breaths. And you're just noticing what you notice. I'm intentionally trying to get a lot of heat moving in your body. And we'll see what happens. And we'll go ahead and try on the other side. So inhale, lift your left leg up and back. Hug your inner thighs towards each other. Yep. And then exhale, step that foot quietly between your hands. Highly encourage the use of blocks. And then you'll step your right foot to the right, spin the foot down, coming into a warrior one foot position. Now bend into your left knee as much as you can. Draw that outer left hip back. Keep lifting through your inner right thigh and then lift your spine. So coming to the tips of your fingertips, lifting through your happy armpits. And then exhale, airplane the arms alongside your hips. Yep. Inhale, come all the way back up to vertical. Awesome sauce. Now once you're vertical, hands are still hovering around our hips, and go ahead and straighten your left leg. And we've got 5 of these. So you'll inhale, come forward, rolling the arms forward and up like you're unfurling a carpet. And then exhaling, drawing them back, drawing your navel to your spine. And so we've got 4 more of those. Maybe this one's 5 count. So you're inhaling, arms are coming forward, collarbones are lifting, gaze is lifting. And then exhale, navel draws into spine, left foot presses into floor. That's some sauce. And maybe this next one will be a 6 count inhalation, coming forward and up. And then the exhale is as long as it needs to be, going back. And then maybe it's a 7 count inhalation. Heart is slightly in front of your hips. And exhaling, coming back. And then this last one might be 8 counts. And you're rooting into the back foot even as you reach up and forward through the heart, through the fingers. And exhaling, coming back. And then our last one, we'll inhale and come forward with our arms, 8 counts. And then as you exhale, the arms will swim back behind you, but you'll keep the front knee bent. Draw your hands onto your low back, interlacing fingers, awkward opposite interlace. Draw the shoulder blades onto your back, and you might lift the hands away from the pelvis, hug the elbows in towards one another, and then see if you can lift up through the collarbones as you breathe in. Maybe, yep, there you go, Roberta. Lifting your gaze just a little bit, and then draw that outer left hip back just a little bit more. Yeah, there you go, Mike. Take one big breath in here. And on your next exhalation, release the arms, come back to vertical, straighten your front leg. Draw your left hand to your left hip. Inhale, reach up through your right arm. And then exhale, draw that left hip back as you reach forward through your right fingertips all the way down, resting the right hand underneath the shoulder on the block or floor, and then lowering the left hand to the floor or block underneath your left shoulder. Inhale, bend that front knee. And then exhale, step yourself back, plank pose. And just as we just did, you have the option to hover here in plank, hands on blocks or hands on floor, or shift your weight forward and give a little push up. Keep your heads lifted. Yep, there you go, Jenny. And then shift back, lowering hands to floor and lifting hips up and back, downward facing dog. Nice job, guys. Keep your ears in line with your arms. Nice. All right. Inhale, gaze to the top of your space. And as you exhale, you'll slowly or quickly travel to the top of your space. Aha, look at that. Good job. Once you get to the top of your space, go ahead and separate your feet about hip distance apart. Some of you may wish to plant a block between your shin bones on the first or second setting. Some of you may choose not to do that. It's totally up to you, but you'll take a moment here to maybe grab opposite elbow, maybe push the hands into the back of the skull and the skull into the back of the hands and feel what that feels like. But you're just noticing how your hammies are doing now, how the back is doing now. And if you are in movement, gently draw yourself back to stillness. And then let's release our hands down towards the floor. Awesome sauce. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana, arm variation of your choice. And then exhale, fold all the way in. Inhale, circle sweep your arms and come all the way up to vertical. And then exhale, open the arms out to the right and to the left. Awesome sauce. So we're still on this heat building train just for a few more times. This we're going to work with our breath. So we'll inhale, just watch for a moment, and arms will reach up and overhead. Exhale, you'll hinge at the hips, fingers come all the way down to the floor. Inhale brings you all the way back up. Exhale will sit you through chair. You'll hinge at your hips, your fingertips will touch the floor. Inhale will bring you back through chair and all the way up to stand. And exhale will repeat the cycle. So we're going to do that a total of 5 times. That whole thing 5 times. Don't worry, I'll talk you through it. Yes, Sandy?
Is there a good modification for like going straight up, straight arms, flat back, and that? This seems like more than my back can handle. Do you have a modification for that?
2. Number 1, bend the knees. Number 2, bring your hands to your hips and or work asymmetrically with the arms. Good question. Cool. So let's try this all starting at the very top. So any of those modifications, bending the knees or keeping your hands on your hips if that forward fold seems like a lot. Cool. Ready? So we'll inhale, arms reach up or just lift your heart up. Exhale, hinge all the way forward. Maybe hands to hips or fingers reaching forward or one arm down. Inhale, come all the way back up to vertical. And then as you exhale, sit back through chair, bend your knees and lower the fingers all the way to the floor. Next inhalation, sit back through chair and come all the way up to stand. And then exhale, hinge at your hips and go again. And so we'll just try this and you'll see if maybe you can make your breath 6 counts as you inhale and come all the way up. And then maybe a 6 count exhalation sitting through chair, lowering the fingers down towards the floor alongside your feet. And then maybe 6 counts to come back through a flat back into chair, all the way up. And then 6 counts to go into your next exhalation. And you'll just work with 6 counts if that feels good to you. We're just trying to build strength and length through the back body. Erica, when you're coming up and down, I want your back of heart to lift a little bit more. Yep, so keep the back of the heart lifting even as you go here. Now back of heart lifts, arms reach forward, back of heart lifts. There you go, there you go, there you go. Nice modification, Roberta. Good job, Mike. Nice, Julie. Julie, keep your head in line with your spine. There you go. Nice, Robin. Nice, Laura. Laura, let the back of the heart come first when you come up here. Back of heart. There you go. Yep, keep going. Back of heart first. There you go. So we want to have the back of the heart lift on this so that we're building strength in the lumbar spine and not just going into our hypermobility. That's what's causing many of us a lot of low back pain. Awesome. And after you've done your 4 sets, you'll just stand for a moment. Nice, Steve. At the top of your space. Nice, Roberta. And we're just going to stand and pause. Yay. And once we all get there, we're all going to go into our favorite part of that sequence, chair pose. So inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead. Sit your pelvis back, and we're just going to stay here for 3 breath cycles. Now, to help with low back stuff here, I want you to inhale, breathe into collarbones, into ribs, and then exhale, feel like the space above your pubic bone draws in and your tailbone lengthens down. So that space drawing in and up as you reach up through the fingers and up through the collarbones, and the exhaling, drawing the low belly in will create stability around the low back. You've got 1 more breath cycle here. And on your next inhalation, stand up, reach up, look up. And And exhale, open the arms out and just take a moment to pause and notice all the energy moving around, most likely. Take any shoulder circles if you need. And then we're going to add on. Okay, so from here, go ahead and just turn to face the left side of your mat. So take that block away. Actually, I lied. Go back. Stand at the top of your mat. Okay, one quick set just to make sure. Remove the block. Yep, don't need that. We're just going to see how this goes as a test. Inhale, circle, sweep your arms up and overhead. Exhale, hinge at your hips, forward fold. Arms, whatever you want. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. And as you exhale, bend your knees, plant your palms, step or float back. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale through an up dog. And exhale back through a down dog. And I want you to just pause and notice what you notice. How did that go? How is the body feeling? What are you feeling? I did a lot of prep just to do that one thing. Okay, let's add on. Inhale, lift your right leg up and back. And then exhale, step your right foot quietly between your hands. Spin your left foot to the floor and come up for Virba 2, Warrior 2. Great. So take a moment first to see if your feet are as far apart as is comfortable and yet challenging for you. You'll turn both of your palms up to face the sky. And this is going to sound super weird and wonky, really aware of that. You'll inhale, reach your right arm forward, touch your right ankle, swim your left arm alongside your ears, extended side ankle. And then exhale, come back to Warrior 2, pizza slicing that left arm up. And you got 4 sets of those. So inhale, right arm reaches forward, left arm swims forward and then up and overhead. And then exhale, left arm swims back to Warrior 2, spine comes up. Yep, and you got 2 more sets of those. Inhale, reach forward through the right arm, swim through the left, reaching it up and overhead. And then exhale, swimming the left arm back, coming back up to Warrior 2. Awesome sauce. Last time, inhale, reaching forward through that right, lowering the right hand to the ankle. And then exhale, swimming the left arm back, coming back up to vertical. Okay, this one will hold. Inhale, reach out through your right arm. Lower the right hand to the floor or block to the inside or the outside edge of your front foot. Swim your left arm alongside your ears, and you'll just take a moment to pause. Push down into both feet. Hug that outer right hip back and press into your left pinky toe. Now, with your left arm over your head, exhale, bend your left elbow and draw your left elbow in line with your left shoulder. And then inhale, swim your left fingers up, straighten the elbow long. And then 4 of those. Exhale, bending the left elbow, elbow in line with shoulder. Inhale, reaching out through the left fingertip, straightening the left arm. Exhale, bending the left elbow. And then inhale, reaching it out. And then 2 more. So we're trying to notice that the more you can squeeze the left shoulder blade on the left back body, you might find actual rotation happening in the upper thoracic spine, just happening naturally. Awesome sauce. Next time your left arm is overhead, you'll just go ahead and stay there and breathe. Notice what you notice happening here on the left side body, squeezing your outer right hip in, pushing into your left pinky toe. Awesome sauce. Draw your face to the floor, lower your left hand to the floor, spin to the ball of your left foot, low lunge. Pause, lower your left knee to the floor or the blanket underneath you. And then walk your spine up to vertical. So you'll walk your hands up your right thigh. Cool. Some of you will stay here. Some of you will come forward and inchworm your left knee back just a little bit. And then some of you will bend your back knee and grab the outside edge of your left foot with your left hand. And you're just taking a moment to pause and breathe. This is a shape we have not made in a really, really, really long time. So I want you to pause and breathe. How can we find pleasantness in this experience? How can we soften across our face? Can you draw your left shoulder to the top of your space? So it's in, yep, there you go, Robin. And then lift up through the heart. Very mindfully release your back leg. Draw your hands to the floor or blocks. Tuck your back toes under, lift your back leg long. And then go ahead and step back plank pose. Your choice. You can do a little push-up thing here or meet just back in downward facing dog. Great. Left side. Inhale, lift your left leg up and back. As you exhale, quietly step that left foot between your hands. Spin your right foot down and come up for warrior two. First things first, make sure there's enough space between your legs, both widthwise as well as lengthwise. And then from there, you'll open your arms out to the right and to the left. Turn the palms to face up. Now, inhale, reach. Well, before you guys go into this, to make sure it's clear, the left arm is reaching forward, the right arm is swimming forward. So it's like a little pizza slicer. So you'll inhale, reach out through your left arm. The right arm will swim overhead. And then you'll exhale, right arm will swim back and spine will come up. We're working very specifically with how our shoulder joint is going. So when you're ready, you'll go ahead and do that 5 times. Inhaling out through the left, swimming forward through the right. And exhale, swimming back through the right and coming back up. Nice, Julie. Nice, Laura. Yep, keep looking underneath that right armpit as you come forward, Laura. Jenny, hug that outer left hip back. Yep, and push into your right foot a little more. There you go. Nice, Barbara. Roberta, how does it feel to bend that front knee when you come forward? Okay. The next time you come forward, we'll go ahead and pause there, and then we'll just take 4 of those little circles, or rather bends of the top elbow. So you'll inhale, reaching out through the right fingers, and then exhale, bending the right elbow in line with the shoulder. And then you've got 4 more of those. Inhale, straightening the arm. And this is really happening by just squeezing the right shoulder blade onto the back body. So we're trying to build strength here in order to create the mobility in the spine. We spend a lot of time rounded forward over texts or over steering wheels or over computers or any of those things. And so we're trying to strengthen the muscles in the back body that have overstretched and gotten weak as a result of it. And Miss Gumby, don't need to go so much. Awesome sauce. Next time your right arm is overhead, just pause and take 3 breath cycles there. And you're pressing into your back foot, your right foot. You're drawing your outer left hip, your front hip back, and you're pressing evenly into your foot. Jenny, draw your outer left hip back even more. Squeeze your, there you go, left butt cheek. And then when you're ready, gaze to the floor, right hand comes to the floor, pivot onto the ball of your back foot. And then lower your right knee down to the blanket or mat underneath you. Some of you might want to just slide that right knee back here already to begin. And then you'll bring your spine up to vertical for Asana. And you might just stay here happy as a clam, both hands on the center of that left thigh. You might bend your back knee and grab the outside edge of your right foot with your right hand. And again, you're just taking a moment to pause and breathe. You keep pushing into your front foot. You keep pushing down into your back knee and you hug those points together. Lengthen your tailbone down a little bit more and then draw your front ribs in and up. Nice work. Very mindfully release your back foot. Bring your hands to the floor or blocks. Tuck your back toes under. Straighten your back leg long and step your left foot back to meet your right. Lower your knees down to the mat. Take a moment to rest in child's pose. And we'll pause and we'll breathe here. And we're just settling our nervous system. The request last week was that we do an inversion. So that's kind of what we've been working up to this whole time. And don't worry, I'm not going balls to the walls crazy with this. We're going to do something that's strength-based. So it'll be fine. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for us. Okay. Very gently, let's come forward onto forearms and knees. And actually pause. I want you to watch this. It's a prep for headstand, but don't worry, we're not doing headstand. So just as we would ordinarily do in dolphin, I want you to notice how close my elbows are towards each other and see if we can, I'll do it this orientation, and see if we can do that. So our arms normally splay, and so you're gonna wanna bring them so they're just slightly inside of your shoulders, and you're gonna push down a lot, round in a lot, and lift up for dolphin. So this is a prep for headstand because we're not gonna put your heads on the floor, but that's how we would get there. So any questions before we do that? No? Okay, then let's go ahead and try that. Forearms on the floor, knees on the mat. Interlace your fingers. Walk your elbows in. So actually, I encourage you to walk them in a lot more than you think that you would need to because they'll start to splay out anyways. And then you're going to push down through the forearms, push down through the pinky fingers, start to tuck your chin to your chest, curl your toes under, and then push down to lift your bums up. And then from here, you'll start to walk your feet towards your face. And Barbara, how is that going for you? You might want to widen your elbows just a little bit. Okay. And then keep pushing down and keep lifting your hips higher. We're going to try to stay here for about 30 seconds. And as best as you can, the back of your heart is coming in. So all that stuff we did with squeezing your shoulder blades onto your back, imagine that you're kind of doing that. There you go, Sandy, in order to lift up. Nice, Roberta. Nice, Barbara. Nice, Shelby. Shelby, push down even more for me. Yeah. Nice, Laura. Nice, Jenny. Nice, Robin. That looks real good, Robin. Nice, Julie. Nice, Mike. And when you're ready, you'll gently come all the way down, lower your knees to your mat, and just sit up vertical on top of your shins for a moment in Bhadrasana. 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 Cool. How'd that go? Hard, but not too bad? Okay. All right, let's go ahead and lie down on our bellies. Actually, pause. I need to show this last thing to you too, because otherwise, once you're laying down, you'll be like, Jessica, what the hell are you talking about? Okay, so we're going to be on our abdomen. And hands are again going to be on the floor. I encourage you to keep your hands on the floor and you'll squeeze back. I'm going to have you lift one leg up. I'm going to have you bend one leg in. I'm going to have you lift head and chest up and then lower all the way back down. So we're going to do that a few times. The first time I cue it through, your head can stay on the floor. And then the subsequent times, if you'd like, we'll lift our head up and away from the floor. Cool. So let's come down onto our bellies, happy little bellies. And bring your hands alongside your hips. Separate your feet about hip distance apart. And then turn your palms to face the floor. With your palms facing the floor, draw your shoulders up to your ears and draw the shoulder blades onto your backs. Now you'll start to crawl your fingers back behind you until your arms are super long and straight. And then inhale, lift just your right leg up, squeeze all the muscles around the leg, and then exhale, bend the right knee, drawing the heel to your bun. And then inhale, send the right leg back. And exhale, lower the right foot to the floor. We'll do that on the left side. So this is just what your legs are doing. Inhale, lifting the left leg up. Exhale, bending the left knee, heel towards your pelvis. Inhale, sending the left leg back long and lifting it away from the floor. And then exhale, lowering it down to the floor. Cool. You can repeat that, or you could add the lift of your head when you lift the leg. So inhale, head, maybe leg lift, or exhale, bend the knee, keep lifting the heart. Inhale, lift the heart, kick back. Yeah, and then exhale, lower everything down. Other side. Inhale, leg, and maybe heads lifts. Exhale, bend the left knee. Inhale, lift the head and the leg a little higher. And then exhale, lower all the way down. All right. 2 more sets on your own. So inhale, lifting the leg and the head perhaps. Exhaling, bending the knee. Inhaling, lifting the head and reaching the leg back. And then exhaling, lowering all the way down. And when you're ready, inhale, lift the leg and the heart. Exhale, bending the knee in. Inhale, lifting the heart and reaching the leg back. There you go, Jenny. And exhale, lowering all the way down. And last set on your own. So you want to make sure that when the leg is straight, the leg is straight. And the leg is bent, the leg is bent. And you're reaching the head. Yeah, there you go. Head and heart in opposition to lift up that final part. Awesome sauce. Last set. Cool. And then of course you all know that I'm going to make you do this. So once you finish your last set, go ahead and lay down. And then we'll try both legs at the same time. So you'll inhale, lift your legs and maybe your heart. Exhale, bend your knees. Inhale, reach the legs back. Lift the heart a little higher, and then exhale, lower all the way down. One more, just like that. Inhale, lift the legs and maybe the head. Exhale, bend both of your knees. Inhale, reach the legs back, lift the heart a little higher, and then exhale, lower all the way down. Bring one ear to the mat and rest for 3 breaths. 3 steady, steady, steady breaths. Awesome sauce. Bring the other ear to the mat. Awesome sauce. Bring your forehead back to the mat. Go ahead and bend both knees. Reach around and grab the outside edges of both ankles. Flex through your feet. Now, I want you to be very mindful. So the toes will curl over your hands perhaps, or if you're holding onto the ankles, they'll just curl down to your knees. Now, lengthen your tailbone back. Draw your shoulders up towards your ears and draw your shoulder blades onto your back. When you're ready, you'll inhale and lift up, kick back. And you're going to stay here for about 4 to 5 breath cycles. And I want you to focus on squeezing the shoulder blades onto the back body, of reaching your heart and sternum forward, your tailbone back. Yep. And then continuing to kick the shins back for 3, for 2, and for 1. Gently lower down. Release your feet and bring an ear to the mat. Then you'll just take a pause and you'll take a breath. And you'll take a pause and you'll take a breath. Okay, last thing. Bring your hands alongside your lowest ribs. Press yourselves to hands and knees. And then make your way back to downward facing dog. And you're just going to use this as an extension pose. An extension pose is literally those things that bring our spine into its natural curves. So I want you to push down through the L shape of your hands. Keep lifting through your inner armpits. Wrap your triceps to the floor. And then with the knees as bent as they need to be, push your tuchus up and high. Yep. And then you might find that you can draw the front ribs into the back body a little bit more as you reach the heels back and towards the floor. So we're just trying to take out all the curves that we just put into the spine and let the spine come back to its natural curves. Awesome sauce. From here, slowly bend your knees and walk your hands back towards your feet. Bloop, 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 bloop. Yep. Okay, once you get back to your feet, you might separate them a little wider than hip distance or just keep them at hip distance. And then bend your knees just a bit. Draw your left hand to your right ankle. Left hand to right ankle. There you go. Walk the right hand forward just a little bit. Now go ahead and pull with your left hand. Bend your left knee. Peek underneath your right armpit. And then notice what happens if you straighten both of your legs. Just finding a little rotation through the spine. And very gently, you'll come through center, releasing the left hand. And then switching sides, grab your left ankle with your right hand. Crawling your left fingers forward. Go ahead and bend your right knee, peer underneath your left shoulder armpit, and potentially start to straighten your right leg. Great. Very gently come back to center. Either grab opposite elbow or back of head in Uttanasana and just notice how the spine feels now. If the hands are behind the head, gently release them. And everyone bring your hands to the floor. Crawl forward onto hands and knees. Bring your butt to the floor and lie down on your backs. Cool. When we lie down on our backs, the first thing I'd like us to do is take constructive rest. So you'll bend your knees, you'll plant your feet firmly on the floor, a little wider than your hips. Let your knees fall in towards each other and support one another. And then wrap your arms around your torso, giving yourself a hug. Maybe the fingers crawl underneath the shoulders, maybe they don't. And let the shoulders, or rather let the elbows rest on top of each other, and as best as possible, rest on top of your chest. Really depends upon the mobility of your shoulder joint, as well as, how wide your torso is and whether you've got what your chest region looks like. So you'll find a spot that's comfortable for you. And then I want you to notice what you notice internally happening. How does the body feel? How does the mind feel? How does the breath feel? You'll just take 3 more steady breath cycles, noticing whatever you notice. Now, I'd like you to go ahead and check in with yourself and see what final shapes or shape might be calling to you, and then give yourself permission to do whatever feels best. It often seems that in order for us to really feel good, we have to know what we're needing. Sometimes it means that we need to work ourselves a little bit, push ourselves a little bit. But very often it also means that we need to take time to pause and reflect. We need to take time to just be in whatever is present for us. And maybe remind ourselves of that mantra from Roberta's badass calendar, that this is great because. So as you're tuning into the sensations of your body, you're really starting to notice what feels good and go towards that. Once you feel complete, start to make your way to your final resting pose, whatever that will be for you for today. And as you find yourself in your final shape, Take the first few breaths here to just take some audible exhalations, letting go of anything you no longer wish to carry forward. And allow your breath to return to an involuntary state, meaning you're not controlling or forcing or directing it in any way. And as the weight of the bones continue to settle into the floor, as the weight of your muscles continue to soften around your bones, and the breath becomes a little bit more easeful, starts to feel good. I want you to take 5 rounds of these. So as your body breathes in, travel your awareness from your feet all the way to the crown of your head. And as your body breathes out, travel the awareness back down the spine. So as the body breathes in, your awareness travels from the feet up to the crown. And as the body breathes out, your awareness travels from the crown back down. And you're remaining as effortless as possible. Just noticing that when the body breathes in, your awareness can float up to the head. And as the body breathes out, it can travel back down. Next time your awareness, or rather you exhale and the awareness travels down, allow it to stop and rest in the navel. And then just allow the awareness to rest on the belly, observing what happens as you breathe in and as you breathe out. And I will let you know when it's time to come out. Gently return your awareness and just check in and notice what you notice. As you're checking in, if any part of you longs to linger in this shape for a few more moments or a few more breaths, by all means, please stay here. When you are ready to move, you'll invite small movement into your extremities, to fingers and toes, maybe gently rolling the head a little. Then mindfully, you'll start to roll to your right side. Those on your right side, you'll gently draw yourself to a tall seat. And you'll take the opportunity when you're seated to really elevate your bum on a block or on a blanket. If you're still on your back, you can do all of this with us. So we'll first, for those of us that are seated, plant the hands on the thighs where your heart can stay open. And then notice what it feels like to stack your head over your shoulders over your hips. And then very gently, you'll start by inviting in an Ujjayi pranayama. And as you invite in this Ujjayi, I want you to see how quiet you can make it. So it becomes more of an internal Ujjayi. You still feel the constriction at the back of your throat, but the sound feels like it's more inside of you versus outside of you. As you continue to find that soft internal sound of Ujjayi, start to find samavriti, meaning your inhalation and your exhalation are about the same length. Gradually, you'll start to bring your awareness to noticing the texture of the inhalation and the texture of the exhalation, and seeing if you can even that out. So it's soft and smooth and seamless from the beginning of the inhale all the way through to the end, and soft and smooth and seamless from the beginning of the exhalation all the way to the end of the exhalation. And then gradually notice if you can make it continuous between the inhale and the exhale, so it just becomes a circular breath. The inhale softly transitions through its phases to the exhale, and the exhale softly transitions through its phases to the inhale, and it becomes this giant loop a seamless circle. And you might begin to notice that in order to allow that to happen, you have to soften just a bit, keeping the spine vertical, but softening any unnecessary tension in the body, softening any unnecessary tension in the mind. Gently return to a natural, involuntary breath. And just notice how you feel. Notice where there's the greatest potent part of vibrancy. Is it in your head? Is it in your heart space? Is it in your abdomen? And you'll just take 3 breath cycles wherever you feel the most energy, the most vibration, vivacity in you. Our practice, in whatever form it is intended to bring us back to this point where we feel calm and yet active and alert. And we can take the time to notice the things that make us feel good. We can notice the things that bring us back into alignment with our inner knowing, with our highest good. We'll go ahead and complete our practice now by taking our hands to heart center. So press your palms into each other. Receive the weight of your thumbs into your sternum and lift your heart towards your hands. Allow your chin to soften towards your chest and just exhale any remaining breath you're holding on to. Big inhalation and another audible exhalation. The light within me honors and salutes the light within each of you. Namaste.